Welcome to the C-List. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Josh.
And today we're going to be looking at Eye of the Beast, directed in 2007 by a gentleman called Gary Yates. Josh?
This film is part of the Man-Eater series, which was done by the Sci-Fi Channel before they decided to spell it wrong. It's made up of numerous different creature features, like vipers. There's a crocodile one, wyvern, literally every type of creature you can imagine. This one is a giant squid film, and it stars James Van Der Beek from Dawson's Creek.
And Rules of Attraction.
Yeah, Rules of Attraction. He played Patrick Bateman's little brother, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's not really mentioned that it's Patrick Bateman's little brother.
We all know it's Patrick Bateman's little brother.
Yeah, we could talk about the whole chronology between American Psycho and Rules of Attraction, but you probably want to hear more about this giant squid film, or you might not. But either way, we're going to talk about it.
In all fairness, American Psycho and Eye of the Beast are quite similar. If you replace Christian Bale with the giant squid killing people rather than him.
Not really.
Set it on a boat as well and you're done.
The squid doesn't have a sort of peculiar moral compass.
Or any form of music taste as far as we know.
Yeah, squid doesn't sit there listening to Genesis and Phil Collins. Part of me wishes he did now.
We should remake this film and make it like a Genesis and Phil Collins enjoying squid.
Can we call it, like, American Beast or Eye of the Psycho?
Eye of the Psycho sounds cool, and we could have him like write his business cards with like the ink because he's like a squid. So.
What, and just like flip out all the cards with his multiple tentacles?
Yeah, how badass would that be? Rather than killing people, he's just snapping people with business cards. Ow! Oh, cool, he's a businessman.
Yeah, and then we could have the squid getting depressed around the business table when all the other squids are throwing out their business cards and they're all better. Sat under the sea. Yeah, but what would the business cards have to be made out of?
I don't know.
If it's water, if they're laminated, that should do it.
We should make them laminated.
Okay.
Right,
so
Eye of the Beast, good film.
Yes.
Just thought I'd get us back on track. Do you want to explain the plot?
You were the one that took us off the track. But yeah, I'll explain the plot. Essentially, you've got this small little community called Fells Island, is it? Yeah.
It's got a stupid name.
It's called Fells Island. It's not a little place, it's a little island. But you've got the classic little community, and people are going missing out at sea. Well, out in the lake, which I think is the sea. I couldn't quite figure that out.
Yeah, they never really mention it either, so who knows?
At one point they say don't go near the lake, so I figure it is a lake.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're having problems, and fish are going missing. So the stock, essentially all the fishermen are complaining. So, a company called Nora?
Yes, they are called Nora.
Yeah, called Nora. I keep looking at my notes, sorry. But, yeah, a company called Nora send out James Van Der Beek, who
James
plays
Van Der
scientist.
Beek.
Yes. Who plays a scientist called Dan, to essentially look at what's going on and see if he can figure out why the fish are sort of just disappearing. And then this leads them to discovering that there's actually a giant squid in the water, and they should probably sort it out one way or another. That's the basic plot, really.
Yeah, it's got a nice simple plot, because, let's face it, you don't overcomplicate things. Otherwise, this could have ended up like Pirates of the Caribbean 2. With the Kraken.
Yeah.
But it didn't. Instead, you just have James Van Der Beek being a dick and lots of pissed off fishermen.
And fishermen's wives, which we'll get onto in a bit.
Yeah, so a special mention to all the fishermen basically have like wives who all hang out in a little gang, because obviously their husbands hang out in a gang, so the wives have to hang out in a gang. And they're basically really bitchy and unhelpful and do nothing to really forward the plot.
Yeah, the worst being this bloke called Gunner, his wife.
Gunner?
She's pregnant. Yeah, It's not because she's pregnant. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that most women should die. But she does. She deserves to. And the kid, fair enough, the kid didn't do anything, so possibly let her have the kid and then kill her. But she deserves to die. She isn't looking out for anyone's well-being, not even her husband's, really.
Did you
She's
know
just
nothing from
wanting
Bear?
money.
If you're pregnant,
Yes.
you live.
Well, essentially, it's just a way of pissing me off when I watch a film.
What?
I know they're not making the film for me, but just...
allowing pregnant people to survive, like in Predator 2.
Oh, I don't like the route this is going down. I'm so sorry that it's sort of possibly sounding like I'm majorly sexist. But if you watch the film, you'll understand. I'll put a few clips of her.
This is not being sexist because the main chick, what nationality is she?
I don't know. I think she's Native American.
She is a great actress, and her character was cool, and the way that she interacted with James Van Der Beek's character, I really liked
her. She was awesome. She was played by Alexandra Castillo.
She was one of the favourite females for like protagonists that I've seen in the monster movie so far.
Yeah, she plays the sheriff of this community called Cat. Well, Catherine, but they all called her Cat. But yeah, she's awesome. So she doesn't deserve to die. The others do. Right. I'll say a little thing in the fact that the film never takes itself seriously. It knows it's a creature feature, and it sort of feels an awful lot like the sort of classic, old-fashioned, cheesy sort of horror movies of like the 60s and 70s, and it's better because of that fact.
It reminded me of like Python, in the way that Python was never ever serious.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And yeah,
but they just decided, why bother?
This even has a classic "the end" ending. But yeah, should we move on to some of the like actual bits about the film that we liked or disliked?
Okay. The thing that I disliked was that the CGI is terrible.
Yeah, but you don't see it much.
I expected it to be terrible, but it was still pretty bad.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But then they only really use the CG right at the end, which part of me wishes they hadn't.
Does not make a decent finale. There's nothing wrong with puppets.
It's quite undramatic, the ending. Which also, I guess that also leads to the fact that you don't see any of the deaths on screen until the end. And even then it's not the best in the world.
Yeah,
You've got a bit of...
It just always seemed like a rather cheap monster movie way of doing things for me, for when just starting off the kills being off screen, and then it just seems nowadays like creature features are seeing how far they can push that. Because before it used to be like, oh, maybe 1 or 2 deaths off screen, whereas certainly in like Eye of the Beast or in like one of the Anacondas does it, much to my annoyance.
Was
and
it
it's
3?
just like,
Might have been 3.
I think it was 3, because I think number 3 starts off with the snake, and then it disappears and does like off-screen deaths, which doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
But like, and now they're just seeing how far they can go, trying to raise tension by having off-screen deaths, when really it's just being cheap. We want gore, damn it.
Well, I wouldn't have been as majorly annoyed, except for the fact that the DVD cover, which this is the DVD cover that I've got,
it's awesome.
It clearly shows a man being torn in half by this giant squid, and it sort of sets it out to be quite sort of violent and things, but that never happens.
There's nothing wrong with gore. This is a fine case of like box covers being like, usually when box covers are lies, it's just like the quotes or the comments or the taglines. This is this is one of the first ones I remember where the actual artwork was a lie.
Yeah, but to be fair, compared to a lot of the films we looked at, like the Snake films and things, ones that we went into the fact that the boxes were awful, I actually love this cover.
Yeah, the cover is amazing. It's one of the best
covers
I've ever seen.
And on the back, like James
just-
Van Der Beek looking very angry.
It's just not a representation of the film in any way, shape, or manner.
Yeah.
There is a fisherman and there is a giant squid, but he doesn't get ripped in half.
Yeah. Well, in terms of negatives, I guess the only other ones that I personally have are the fact that I hate the woman. The collective of women. Hate them. Don't like them as characters. Don't think they're even
the
needed
fisherman's
in the
wives
plot.
group, yeah, they're horrible.
Fisherman's wives, is that what we're called? It's like a collective. But yeah, and
Ooh, do you want to collect them all?
and this has got to sound bad again, but there's a little kid. Essentially, the film, towards the start, when you first see James Van Der Beek's character, they're all getting off the boat. And I initially thought that it was introducing all the characters that were going to die in the film. Because some of them look like the sort you would get typically in a film like this. And a family gets off, and there's this little kid with a, like, captain sailor's hat on. He's just this little annoying cock. No offence to the actor, but he is. He's a little cock. And I just wanted him to die. And, of course, it's the sort of film where he doesn't die. His father dies, and they don't really seem that bothered by his father dying. They seem to forget about that quite quickly. But yeah, the little kid, little cock. Other than that, I really like the film.
I'm starting to wonder about how much you enjoyed the scene in Snakes on a Train, where the little girl gets eaten for 5 minutes by the snake.
You know how much I like that film. You liked it too. Don't make me seem like a bad person.
We put that in our top 10, didn't we?
Yep, number 5, I think. Right. I'd like to mention, when you actually do see parts of this squid, you see its tentacles quite a lot, and they're very phallic in the imagery. Tentacles are generally, but this is like to sort of anime levels of sort of tentacles. There's a bit where it's rubbing up this girl's leg while they're in a boat. Things like that, which reminds me of the snake in Boa vs Python, I think. Is it
the
Boa
one where
vs Python?
the Boa vs Python is the snake oral sex scene.
Yep. Took a little thinking there, but yeah, that scene.
Another reason why I love Boa vs Python.
But yeah, but I mean, like, the actual build, the interaction between characters in this film is actually pretty damn good. The script is cheesy but fun. The filming's highly competent, and the actual score is pretty awesome for a film that seems to have no budget.
For a film that doesn't deserve a decent score, it's ended up pretty well.
Yeah. Well, at the start, everyone is so aggressive to Dan. Literally everyone. Like, the wives are, but the normal fishermen are, the barkeeper, everyone. They all hate him. They have this mission to just sort of run him out of town, it seems. It's brilliant. And James Van Der Beek really doesn't help himself. He just does play this cock really well.
You can't help it, it's like his days of Dawson have come back to get him.
Yeah, and there's like a great bit where, I mean, there's this sexual tension between Kat and Dan in the film. Well, Van Der Beek and Alexandra. And it doesn't feel as forced as it could do. Really.
Yeah, they're both pretty competent actors, so...
Yeah. Oh yeah, they also get a man to ID a leg at one point. Because this
I completely forgot about that, yeah.
His daughter's leg, the chick from the beginning that dies. They get her father, I think it's her father, or like care or whatever. They get him to come in and actually ID her leg, which I thought highly amusing. They reveal from this like body bag a leg. But yeah, I mean there are more bits. There's some highly embarrassing moments in it. In terms of certain bits of costume that certain characters are wearing. But that can stay out of this for a bit. And I guess the only last thing, it's a minor gripe, is throughout the film they're going on about how the tentacles from this squid have razor sharp like claws and things.
Like Wolverine.
Yeah. But towards the end, when it starts grabbing people, it doesn't actually do that. It tears one guy's face apart, which fair enough. But then it grabs the main woman around the neck, and then doesn't do anything. Which annoyed me a bit, but overall I really liked the film.
I greatly enjoyed it. I thought, because I was expecting it to be Trollop because of what I've read about the other man-eater films, but I ended up coming out of this one feeling really, really pumped to watch more.
Yeah, well, I put it off for a while because I thought the same, and the only reason I really watched it is because Josh convinced me to watch it in one of the earlier
Mr. Van Der Beek.
Yeah, but no, I watched it. I really enjoyed it. I'd say it's probably in my top 5 now. It just does everything it needs to, right, and it knows it's not serious. It's fun. What more do you really want from a creature film?
It's definitely in my top 10. I can't think of what my top 5 would be at the moment, but
I'd say a definite recommend for me.
I would recommend it as well.
Okay. Anything else to say, Josh?
Please put more James Van Der Beek in more creature feature films. He should just become some sort of badass creature hunter.
Yeah, I guess I agree with that. But yeah, thanks for watching.